All right, so someone may be losing their job. It is because of the pressure campaign, and some NDC faithfuls have started pushing. Special prosecutor, there's pressure on him for him to arrest Ofori-Atta or resign. Now, this comes after investigation. Be and some people are more media anymore or more than Simbi Ababe to just say, a year kisi ejabin, yeah, or yes, special prosecutor, no, not or more patches say, in some way, so say untimi nche nkrofo ne ade opa say nya nokre. And according to NDC faithfuls and some people no more party say special prosecutor mum and say odi atatete ati ase ebi mu kra party say ebi mu aba ne nchen pa acho so odi afa ye bone cheya. Kevin Taylor is one of those people will leaky documents to that charge. You share this particular video of how Kevin Taylor phrased this. Ye baba ka ye beto aso.
The OSP, Kisie Jabin, I can tell you Ghanaians on authority, the fight against corruption, yepe obia or hinder Ghana, or distracting a year investigation, obia oma criminals, oma protection in disguise, is this guy called Kisie Jabin. And after this episode, you will understand. After this expose, you understand why we don't have to have the special prosecutor in office. Why the president needs to take decision and sack the special prosecutor. Last week, I heard he went to Menchia to go tell Otumfuo, say Otumfuo should step in for him so that they wouldn't sack him. Last week or so, Kisie Jabin was in Kumasi, and I would like to tell Otumfuo 82, whether he was there or not, Nana, it is better. It is better, with all due respect, your interference in Ghana politics. It is better, this point, step away. I respect you. And it says, papa or woman. Your interference in Ghana politics. The hatred that you are calling for yourself is all because of your interference in Ghana politics. Say obi beka say tiawo. Say nipa bi ebegu hu fin. So obi betena baby aka bibie tiawo na eye your interference in politics. Let the politicians do what they are doing. Your job as a traditional ruler is to look out for your people. Stop the interference. It is hurting Ghana's development. It is hurting the fight against corruption. Stop the interference. The same way na Paul Ademochi betina TV so obi a wabo Ghana chrono it me boldly ekache Ghana for say your palace and the OSP office no pressure to release a criminal like Paul Ademochi. It's an indictment. And with all due respect, Nana, it's about time. And we are all in Ghana. We have what we call positive influence. It is beginning to look like you are no more being positively impactful when it comes to our politics. Your interference, the interference from your palace is too much. I respect you, and it always hurts me when I see young people who know nothing about Ghana politics use words they cannot even use at anything at you, all because of your interference. Stay away. Let these people be dealt with. The palace, no, that thing needs to stop. It needs to stop. Egu ahimfie no ho fin. Egu asante akonwa no ho fin. Obia sorry one cry. Obia bokro no a osmame ko menhia na menhia nka bi mame. It should not be so. We do respect you. We recognize you as somebody who is revered amongst your people and even around the world. This needs to stop, Nana, with all due respect to you. Because we want to fight corruption. We want to build this nation. With all due respect. Manisi Suminaso. Akwara ewu penyini wu ahabanda date ahabai monote. Na sebi omum penifo de mu ye nyina ne se mobeba oman we hu ban na ye mu nchirima te se ye no ya besom aye ne yie. Let the process work. Moma yenma imra enye juma. And this goes out to all these leaders. Ahemfo more Ghana. It is looking like our biggest problem, ahemfo more Ghana, including me Papa So Your Hene. And that is where we are struggling to get this country out of problems. Because when it even comes to the fight against Galamsey, majority of you, mama the fight against Galamsey, and I'm being respectful in this my submission because I think it's about time we started having this serious conversation about the interference of some of our chiefs, especially Benshia, in our politics. It is getting too much. And among for me, I'm going to say they will hide behind Benshia, they will use Otumfuo's face, and it has been going on and on and on, and we are yet to hear from Benshia that this Benshia send him. But I don't much better TV so catch we are seeing us obo chrono and the chino and a Benshia ema system the pressure. Ever seen there, mentioned to me releasing an official statement to say no. It is filthy and disgusting. Let us respect each other. Let us respect the rule of law. Let us at least give the system room to breathe for the system to work. The interference from Menshia in our politics is too much. But the right things have to be said. And yet to me, yes, I did not. And because you see, you're trying to Ghana. You see, you boy, a chrono, and so to me, if you say the moment you start to make a move, now him feel be sorry. Not or he be sorry. Not penny be sorry. We cannot prosecute people. And I am saying Menshia because personally, I feel, say, from a year history, Menshia has been too in politics. Your fingers have been in politics too much. Now let's go to this matter. OSP can Ofori-Atta also identify Ghana. And remember, in 2024, Ghana budget $13.7 million. And yedema a year special prosecutor Kisie Jabin almost $14 million. What about Ghana cedis ma 147 million Ghana cedis. And ye tam edema a year OSP say pub di juma na omo di adwum ewia no sankofo no for di juma na yan twibiase no monko da fiase almost $14 million. And ye tam edema Kisie Jabin. You ask yourself, how many people work at the OSP office? How many people have been prosecuted? A day na ekoso Ghana. Some questions needs to be answered. It is looking like politics as usual, complaints as usual, rhetoric as usual. We come on TV, come on radio, we talk, and the next day we walk. No, things have to change. And things have to change because we cannot make it politics as usual. All the time. Something needs to happen. Some changes have to happen to make sure say nim. Now, maybe nipa or stop it Ofori-Atta from coming to Ghana, and the person doing that is the special prosecutor, and it's not just Ofori-Atta. You see, in Ghana today, say Omani detective say obi di sika. Na say yen nyina yehu se sandi pay we di sika or say twe na so pe. Trom na special prosecutor drew ho. And what does he do? He will go and arrest, and you line up charges, and then at the end of the day, he will tell you that the person should go home. He's investigating. There are hundreds of cases like that ever seen there. The special prosecutor, they say, why no ninja? Or shall obi we dia sika won in semupe or semachew. Come for interrogation. Oba or semajewa no asem. Or say, okay, machewa no asem. Go. I will investigate it. And it has gone on and on and on. $13 to $14 million. Yenya any results from it. Now, Ken Ofori-Atta yetiha and I United say yednakoto Interpol red list so or red alert or whatever list so. And I United say yeah. Because when him say Ken Ofori-Atta is an integral person when it comes to investigating the Akufo-Addo administration. So one of the boats, and I said not a Akufo-Addo abemu. So we can Ofori-Atta, the whole Akufo-Addo government will come down. And people like the special prosecutor, he knows about that. So what you can Ofori-Atta dinijina dekema, obia oria sika wo Akufo-Addo abemu nyina obia hombeda ho, including Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo himself. The special prosecutor knows that. Now, why is it say Kisie Jabeng entumi fa Ken Ofori-Atta emafie? Why? What is so special about Ken Ofori-Atta? Kisie Jabeng say ordinama Interpol entumi fa emafie. Now, let's go back and let me show you how dangerous this special prosecutor is. This is the part 1 of the special prosecutor scandal. Now, maybe exposing the end there. Let's have the second one about. This man has to honorably resign from that office. This special prosecutor has 2 offices. Or the special prosecutor's office and what the annex are a daya papa na ye freno seconds. Sa papa no esiamana or the special prosecutor duties. This special prosecutor or not the cabo will be we no sachi ni pano. This man. It wasn't team. It wasn't part of today, but 1 second. Special prosecutor. Or to me the car bobi. Or the kana boni panewieno. Me betreno, de waye. Ansana ma banasam krasun there. He's crazy. Or to me the on the convoy bobi SN car. Oh yeah. Now wasame achidi pano. Adeya, adentina. Or no the car na boni pano. Was saying ni panika, this guy. Special prosecutor Paul Ademotre Ochino, no, it was to protect Paul Ademotre from going to jail. This is the car. Or the car, the convoy, ni bulletproof car, no, or the boka we mu ese no esachi ni pano.
So no say me na my born on, you know. How me I go fit hit car way this place where we go do so. So that's the front of the car. I want to know where me I hit. So no say me na my born on, you know. How me I go fit hit car way this place where we go do so. So that's the front of the car. I want to know where me I hit.
Or the car no back way car no side no and outside the coco or chin 2 more on 1 fee. Kisie Jabeng. Kisie Jabeng. Or the ball abrante we kamu. Or we no sachi no. How can you use your side of the car, or car side, it will be car anymore? But that is what he does. Power ne kutano, that is what he uses it for. Or Pameka say video we me boa. Or Pamela Bron Tibeka say, I saw the video or the make a court. It's a lie. Today. This man locked the gentleman up in his own home. He locked him up. Now, Yanko Ken Ofori-Atta issue so. Now I'm sure how dangerous this OSP is and why we should get rid of him. And I'm doing this piece for the President of the Republic. I want the President to understand, with all due respect, that this man, if he's not kicked out of that office, your government will struggle. I am telling you. So when you special prosecutor we and now when closes our office down, your government will struggle. Because this special prosecutor will not allow your government to do what Ghanaians want. Ghana for here, Ken Ofori-Atta, the OSP is the one blocking Ken Ofori-Atta from coming to Ghana. Now I'm in sure idea. On the 2nd of June 2025, this happened. The OSP wrote a letter to the Jubilee House. And he wrote a letter to the Chief of Staff. Chief of Staff Julius Debra. Follow this conversation very well. This is 2nd June 2025. Me make sure I did. The Chief of Staff, Office of the President, Jubilee House, Accra. Attention, Honorable Julius Debra. request for the institution of extradition processes. Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta. The Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, request for extradition processes to be instituted for the provisional apprehension in any jurisdiction in which he may be located or found, and extradition to the Republic of Ghana of Kenneth Ofori-Atta, who served as the minister responsible for finance of the Republic of Ghana between 2017 to 2024. This request is founded on the consideration that Mr. Ofori-Atta, who departed the jurisdiction early January 2025, has no intention of voluntarily returning to the jurisdiction, and for which reason the OSP has declared him a wanted person and a suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses regarding the following. Where a letter OSP Echoko Jubilee House or say ye man kwan na onfa e kwan so na onkofa Ken Ofori-Atta embra Ghana. Now, 1. Contractual agreement between Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited and the Ghana Revenue Authority for the stated objective of the enhancement of revenue assurance in the downstream petroleum sector, upstream petroleum production, and minerals and metals resources value chain. Or say, nyoma ojina so akache chief of staff say, omunjina so making sure say, oma fam kwai so edi Ofori-Atta ban ebinye Ofori-Atta eba oil eye dream okahon eba gold dream okahon eba eye dien Ghana yesika sem eye Ghana Revenue Authority sika ejeje eto Ken Ofori-Atta dream ose sa nyoma we nyina aka ho ose termination of a distribution loss reduction and associated network improvement project contract between the ECG and Beijing Xiaocheng Technology BXC. And 3, procurement of contractor and materials and activities and payment in respect of National Cathedral project. It's when in your man Ken Ofori-Atta on trauma Julius Debra on the 2nd of June say omo man kwine na omo man every resource o here bia any every area assistance bia na ontumi extradite Ken Ofori-Atta embra Ghana. If you say Ken Ofori-Atta edwane kwa America. So the special prosecutor wrote to the office of the president, specifically to the chief of staff. Now, remember, the chief of staff, he's not a prosecutor. He's not an investigator. So what did the chief of staff do? The chief of staff forwarded the letter to the attorney general. This letter was on the 2nd of June, 2025. It's the chief of staff, because chief of staff, on your prosecutor, chief of staff, or just CID boss, chief of staff, the only thing he can do is to give it to the legal brain. A buying lawyer opinion say, special prosecutor say, or per se, offer a crime be so for Ken Ofori-Atta by Emra Kwanson de here into where we are buying lawyer opinion no gelatano ne di hujuma. Into what the chief of staff did, Julius Debra, he forwarded this to the attorney general. Now, when the attorney general received the letter, the attorney general actually responded to the special prosecutor. Now, on the 13th of June 2025, so from the 2nd to the 13th, how many days? Anche and attorney general the second letter na or responding to the special prosecutor. Say the course, dear Mr. Kisie Jabin, the special prosecutor, the office of the special prosecutor, sit Heli Salasi Avenue, South Ridge, blah 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 blah. Dear Mr. Kisie Jabin, this is the response from the attorney general. Mebesa Ochina OSP Babon Tibeka said this letter when you know fake. Na men chire ni bibi or Ghana. He needs to leave that office. $14 million. No. Now, in Tisa letter ko Julius Debra nsa e Jubilee House no. And the attorney general say, hey, memenya law, monamoya law, deal with the OSP to help bring Ken Ofori-Atta back. And attorney general say, yes, sir, we will do that. So the attorney general too responded to the special prosecutor. And what did he say to the special prosecutor? Or say, dear Mr. Kisie Jabin, requests for the institution of extradition processes, Mr. Kenneth Ofori-Atta, that is the response. Or say, I bring you compliments from the office of the Attorney General. Or say, 1. This is in respect of your letter to the Honorable Chief of Staff, dated June 2nd, 2025, and the Honorable Chief of Staff's letter to the Honorable Attorney General, dated the 3rd of June, 2025. Now, secondly, kindly furnish us with a copy of the docket on the subject. The Attorney General said, Mr. Kisieja Ben Yensaka o letter now which come Chief of Staff the 2nd of June. No? On the 3rd year na letter near the following day. Na sebi yensu saka na yepese ebusa wo. Se docket na eda Ofori-Atta so no. Sa docket ne nke opese yeboa fa sa docket ne breye. For the docket no na yenhu investigations awaye nyoma ewom na yene the Attorney General's office no we can collaborate with you to find a way to bring Ken Ofori-Atta back to Ghana. If the Attorney General was explicit in his statement, kindly furnish us with a copy of the docket on the subject, and the subject is Ken Ofori-Atta. If the Attorney General ni busa OSP, ya pesa ode sa docket no, ne nyoma na waye ni nyina no fabre. We will be grateful if you could nominate up to 2 prosecutors from your office to join our team of prosecutors to examine and process the extradition request. And Attorney General said, OSP, Yenibeji say, what the docket neighbor no? What the 2 investigators who be free office aka docket no? Send a beya omni na table ho na ye nyina ya hwem na ya hwe how we can execute this extradition process. This is on the 13th of June. Letter ni beka Julia Debransa on the 2nd. On the 3rd, and a letter Nekoka Attorney General Sa. On the 13th, and a ocho letter Edekoma OSP. Into Attorney General Busa for docket. And I also Busa say for investigators be you crack home. Now mo beka ho na yen hwe asem way na how we can bring Ken Ofori-Atta to Ghana. Now, we will be grateful if you could nominate 2 of your prosecutors to be part of Munyambeka. Accept the assurance of my highest consideration. Very truly yours. And this was the response from the Attorney General to the OSP. The Attorney General responded to OSP say, Yati, Obesogo Ken Ofori-Atta a fine idea. For docket ne bra, na docket no de ba no, for investigators me nuka ho no mbra, no money entrance, na fe yen strategize na yehu how we can bring Ken Ofori-Atta to Ghana. 13th of June 2025. Now, after that, a deal is see. After that, something happened. After that, the special prosecutor wrote to the Attorney General. I want him to come out tomorrow, number press conference. Don't say when you know me. The Attorney General cannot be trusted, and make sure I could tell you he cannot be trusted today. Nti Ochokoma Julius Debra, Chief of Staff, and Julius forwarded letter to come Attorney General, and Attorney General responded, and all responded to Attorney General's response. Or say, Honorable Justice Shrem Sai, the Deputy Attorney General, and Ocho letter away on the 20th of June 2025. Into 1 week, Pepe and responded to this letter from the Attorney General. Or say, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, sends its compliment to the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice. Osemi chechi amu nyina mu Attorney General Office. Yede akomapa ene odo ene chiamu ene wi yede anu asem bi ebremo. I refer to your letter dated 13th June 2025 in reference to my letter to the Chief of Staff dated 2nd June 2025 and the Chief of Staff reference to the Attorney General dated 3rd June 2025. In respect of the OSP's request for extradition processes to be instituted, in which extradition processes to be instituted for the provisional apprehension in any jurisdiction in which he may be located or found, and extradition to the Republic of Ghana of Ken Ofori-Atta, who served as the minister responsible for finance of the Republic of Ghana between 2017 and 2024. Let me take this again. I refer to your letter dated 13th of June 2025 in reference to my letter to the Chief of Staff dated the 2nd June 2025 and the Chief of Staff's reference to the Attorney General dated 3rd June 2025 in respect of the OSP's request for extradition processes to be instituted for the provisional apprehension in any jurisdiction in which he may be located or found, and extradition to the Republic of Ghana of Ken Nana Ya Ofori-Atta, who served as the minister responsible for finance of the Republic between 2017 and 2024. The OSP nominates the following officers to join the team of prosecutors to examine and process the extradition requests. The OSP nominates the following officers to join the team of prosecutors to examine and process the extradition requests. 1. Director Albert Akurugu, the Director, Asset Recovery and Management Division. 2. Kaiser Francis Amedome Wilson, Senior Prosecutor. Now, OSP responded to Attorney General. Attorney General Ebusa the 2 questions. Ube to be a mayansaka docket no. And na ube to be the 2 investigators aka ho aba eni abetenase. Na yenhwe se ne be kwakwachi Ofori-Atta. Attorney General responded OSP responded to Attorney General no. He only spoke on the prosecutors or investigators. The OSP did not mention the docket. Without the docket, the Attorney General cannot proceed or cannot start investigating Ken Ofori-Atta's matter. But interestingly, when the OSP was responding to the Attorney General, he omitted the docket part and said, or send the prosecutors. No. Now, you are sending prosecutors to the Attorney General to do what? Without a docket. It is strategically, some investigation now say why ye. Nyoma e what docket na Ofori-Atta ye. Nyoma e what say Attorney General no so ehu. Na ye gina so e de make sure a process no aye effective e me de e Ken Ofori-Atta aba no. Sa docket no OSP say on fan Attorney General. Na mum he has sent 2 of his men to come to the Attorney General to help with the extradition process. How do you start extradition process when you don't have the evidence? You, the special prosecutor, you have the docket. What is stopping you from giving the Attorney General the docket? But you see, strategically, time I responded to Attorney General, no, he did not give the Attorney General the docket of Ken Ofori-Atta. And you ask yourself, why? So you ask yourself, why? How? The Attorney General sends his prosecutors and investigator, but he refuses to send the docket. The OSP cannot be trusted. I'm not talking about the Attorney General. The OSP cannot be trusted. I made a mistake. I said Attorney General cannot be trusted. The OSP, the special prosecutor, cannot be trusted. So, Attorney General just put 2 requests in. Give me investigators and let them come with a docket and let us start the investigations and bring Ofori-Atta. The OSP sends only investigators and prosecutor. He decides not to add the docket. In fact, he decided not to give the Attorney General Ken Ofori-Atta's docket. So the question is, why? The question is, why? Why, sir, the office of the special prosecutor, Kisie Jabin, will refuse to hand over Ken Ofori-Atta's docket? I don't know, person be my Attorney General. No. Why? Now, let me show you something. Why we cannot trust the special prosecutor. In fact, he's a dangerous guy. Now, you see this document. Document way, a letter, this is a letter. A free the Attorney General's office call OSP data so and now my men chira dear AC, and after that the Attorney General's office actually wrote a letter back after OSP Kachom said, or the investigators of Kwa Ebano. The Attorney General's office followed up and asked him about the docket. And this was on the 3rd of September 2025. Just the 3rd of September. And the date, the 16th of October. Ever since there, the special prosecutor has not responded to the Attorney General. Let's read what's in the letter. Now, the special prosecutor, the office of the special prosecutor, Haile Selassie, blah, 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 dear Mr. Kisie Jabin, and it was signed by the Deputy Attorney General. I want the OSP to come out tomorrow and say, dear Mekenyina Mebua, send the Ofori-Atta Magana, near to me prosecutor Ofori-Atta, a special prosecutor. He knows what he's doing. Or then a block a quino, or hijack it. Special prosecutor, onim dia oye, oni Ofori-Atta mwachishahun. He knows what he's doing. Let an Indian man can show. Or say, I bring you compliments from the office of the Attorney General. This follows letter to this office dated June 20, 2025, and subsequent conversation on subject Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta. 2. For urgent law enforcement decision-making purposes, kindly furnish this office with the following. Attorney General Sachro letter koma OSP say. Ya pesa usa this adwuma we ya kan docket ne mbae. Ya say busa for other things. 1. A copy of the dockets in its current state on the subject. 2. An investigative report, even if interim, on the suspect. 3. Any other information which you believe will be necessary for the purpose. And accept our assurances of my highest consideration. Very true, yours. Now, me be much. Attorney General Sacho letter come out OSP no. Meaning, OSP for a docket in the docket in here and send extradition process need to make us ye. And Attorney General actual letter come out on the 9th of on the 3rd of September say, yeah, per se Attorney OSP. My a copy of the docket in its current state. I said docket, no, baby, I would rubiano or the we just want the docket. Don't tell us to say you are waiting to add some things and some. We just want it in its current form. It's okay for us. We can work with it. Don't tell us to say there are some things you are still investigating, because when it gets to us, we can still continue investigating. And anything our car say for our prosecutors and investigators, Brian Ho, Inti Attorney General was specific. Give us the docket in its current state, because you see, the OSP has always been hiding behind it is still under investigations. And if he tells you something is still under investigation, it can take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. He will never finish investigating, because that is how he operates. And it's an Attorney General can say, it does not matter where the docket, the state it is in. Whatever you have gathered and whatever is in the docket, it is okay. Just bring it. This was on the 9th, on the 3rd of September. And the OSP and the Attorney General Suka say, an investigative report, even if interim, or see, some my investigative report, no, even so we crowd what the baby would rubiano, famaye. We can work on it. And Attorney General did not say, give it to me to work on it alone. Add your investigators and your prosecutors to it so that we can work on it with them together. And remember, the Attorney General is even calling for transparency, for his people to all sit with them to do the investigation into one docket, in its current state, whether whatever baby would be a famaye. And an investigative report, Sa reporter also why so far also we investigations. Baby would do is okay. We just want to see what investigations baby would do. Give it to us. And 3, any other information which you believe will be necessary for the purpose. See, document be account be a who say ebe hia say ebe boye amaya to adwuma de we so no fa ka ho ebe sinne. And I'm saying this on authority. The special prosecutor Kisie has not responded to the Attorney General. So who is blocking the extradition of Ken Ofori-Atta to Ghana? It is Kisie Jabin, the special prosecutor. Mese Ebesine, the special prosecutor has not responded to the Attorney General. From September, the Attorney General asked for the docket in its current form, the investigation report in its current state, and any other information. Ebesine, Kisie Jabin has not responded to the Attorney General. Ask yourself why. Because Kisie Jabin does not want to hand over the investigative report to the Attorney General. Why? Because he's protecting Ken Ofori-Atta. In the Ken Ofori-Atta, let me tell you, last week or so, Ken Ofori-Atta eba any boys bi no mudin komo or catch ne nan for say ne papa so beso tukwan or the private jet ne tukwan, and they don't know Ken Ofori-Atta, he does not carry a passport. Ken Ofori-Atta the womb, that is Ken Ofori-Atta's son. That is what he was telling his friends. Or say the papa can travel anywhere, and he travels on private jets. He goes to Europe, he goes to the Bahamas. Ne papa travels on private jet with a different name. Ken Ofori-Atta's son, he was bragging to a lady, a girl. So you see where we are. Inti Kisie Jabin onim say Ken Ofori-Atta ono na air protecting Ken Ofori-Atta, ono na air making sure say Ken Ofori-Atta will never come to Ghana to face a prosecution. It is Kisie Jabin who is protecting Ken Ofori-Atta. And majority of the people like Kisie Jabin say wafromo and they are under investigation or bois. He's protecting and shielding those people. That is how he makes his money. It who say the people are mentioning you are in fact corrupt, and their evidence showing say you are corrupt. He'll come in quickly. He'll come in before the IOCO, he'll come in before the CID and tell them to stay away. He is in charge of the investigation. Remember, the OSP office is under the Attorney General's office. If you don't know, the OSP's office, it is under the Attorney General's office. And if the Attorney General demands or asking for a document, the OSP has no choice. He must give that document to the Attorney General. Why do you think he's not doing that? We have given this guy $14 million. $14 million. He cannot show anything. He has not prosecuted a single soul. It's Mumbusa Kisie Jabin Ochina say, why hasn't he provided these documents to the Attorney General? You see, sometimes, right? And I'm doing this because I want the president to know what is going on. There's a lot of bad people. There are a lot of people who want to destroy your government. And I'm telling you for a fact, Mr. President, so when you Kisie Jabin and I will go to office now, your government will struggle. Your government will struggle. Because Kisie Jabin is doing business. Kisie Jabin is one of the richest people in Ghana. So Kisie Jabin can crank up Paul Adamochenko so with jail and there. People are negotiating, using the office to do business. And that is what Kisie Jabin is doing. As we speak, Ken Ofori-Atta has been assured by Kisie Jabin that he will not expose or transfer the docket and the investigations he's done so far. Parliament approves 146 million budget for special prosecutor's office. Almost $14 million. $14 million. Almost $14 million to the special prosecutor's office. We are asking him to provide just the investigative report. Just a docket. Just a docket. Just a docket. And you see, Mr. President, there are people in your government who are moles giving Ofori-Atta and his group information every time your government, especially your intelligence, they decide on what to do about Ken Ofori-Atta's issue. There are people in your government who are the ones feeding information to Ken Ofori-Atta and his family. Mr. President, Mr. Jakpa, your group of investigators you work with, you have a mole in it. And those people are the ones feeding Ken Ofori-Atta and his family. Every decision you are taking when it comes to investigations, finding the corruption, and the steps you people want to take. There's somebody in your circle, Jakpa. The national security must circle. About 2 people, they are the ones feeding Ken Ofori-Atta and his family information here. And the OSP is also helping. The OSP's office needs to be shut down. This man, Kisie Jabeng, needs to be sacked. He cannot help. Ken Ofori-Atta, as far as Kisie Jabeng is the OSP, Ken Ofori-Atta is never coming to Ghana. I'm telling you on authority, Mr. President. Yes. Me say, as far as Ken Ofori-Atta, as far as you have Kisie Jabeng as your special prosecutor, docket Nikutano, or say ordinary investigations, Ken Ofori-Atta will never come to Ghana. And it is a deal between Kisie Jabeng and Ken Ofori-Atta. He's never going to bring him back. So if you want the people to trust you and trust your government, Mr. President, if you want Ghanaians to know that you are different and that you want to leave a legacy, the special prosecutor's office tomorrow morning, they need to hand over the docket to the Attorney General's office. They need to hand over the investigation report to the Attorney General's office. Kisie Jabeng is the one blocking Ken Ofori-Atta's extradition. At least, must show evidence. The simple question I also be able to say, what is stopping the OSP from just giving the Attorney General Ken Ofori-Atta's docket? What is stopping him? This man, Mr. President, you need to sack him and investigate him. Not just sacking. The special prosecutor needs to be sacked, and after he's sacked, investigations need to be opened on the special prosecutor because this man has caused a lot of damage. And if you don't take care, if we are going to play games, we are going to think this is normal, this OSP's office will shut down your government. He needs to be sacked and he needs to be investigated. I have a lot of report on this man, and he cannot stand before me and deny any of the reports. None of them. The simplest question is, why is the special prosecutor refusing to work with the Attorney General? Why? What will make the special prosecutor, who every day Ojina TV so can say, maybe somebody can Ofori-Atta ba, maybe not go to Interpol so ba me investigation. Why is he not collaborating with the Attorney General to make sure Ken Ofori-Atta has been extradited? Because he works for Ken Ofori-Atta and his family. The Attorney General is using us to do business. $14 million. The guy is making money out of us. He needs to be sacked and he needs to be prosecuted. These are very important things. We need to investigate the special prosecutor. In the next 24 hours, we need answers from Kisie Jabeng. Why? Why he has refused to respond to the Attorney General. The docket, the investigative report, and other information that will be necessary. Why has he decided to ignore the Attorney General? It is because Kisie Jabeng, it is because the special prosecutor is doing business with Ghanaians. Let me tell you, Ghana for. The kind of information I'm one, majority of you people don't have. And I can tell you on authority, I don't trust the special prosecutor one bit from information I'm in. At least, me betina handen man kase keke. I showed you document and I've given you a document to take to him and say, is this true? If the media really want to save this nation, when it comes to the fight against corruption, a war enemy, we can force for corruption to be nullified. Tomorrow we need to confront this special prosecutor and ask him, is this document a lie? Did the Attorney General write to you? And then the one responded, docket no papa dia. Investigative report no papa dia. Why don't you want us to see it? It is because no man investigations now are uncovered. No. So or release here or say and they can Ofori-Atta ba Ghana. He's not going to do it because there's a deal.
All right, so it's for some no and a Kevin Taylor edit 2 jar. You could see clearly, sir, and some ayaka, sir. OSP, his job could be on the verge, Kamia says, Sapepe and Echo. Now, quickly, young consent for also. Sabra Minoka say, Sami Jimfi is also one person who could be facing potential sack, because over the course of this particular past few weeks, it's been in the news for allegations and if you could bent who are next suggested said the gold board or down or his CEO no. He happened to be trading and he happened to be in cahoots with Galamsey operators. Now Sabra Minoka says we have new information about this. Before I bet to us yanko share the video involved of a year how Sisiano information about Sambijin fee. He been perhaps among focusing fire no what is really happening on the ground, how people are seeing, especially representatives be more party say Sami Jimfi has done more than enough to deserve any sack from a year a friend say President John Dramani Mahama yinti all the way by a bet to us.
Yes, some individuals. This country cannot be in the pocket of any individuals. We are no more you saw a mining system said the say term. Now on mining break. Look at what Sami Jimfi is doing with the gold board. What he has here? Say gold board on to me generate within shortest possible of time like this. Gold board yet say the yeah loss for the gold board that
5.1.
Loto Juma ya the boka. Loto Juma ye try loto boka. Ghana buying kwa and under the NLE and also a chalo to anu aboka and no lot on want to me nyebiem or no ankasa ni product awayen you won't fuck private company no mom na meye mano na private company na be chen is a member say and we are happy about it and we are hyping these things. Why we so dishonest as a people like that? Say God board on quality me generate this short period $8 billion. NLS should be able to make more than that. Loto Juma yenye moka. Go and tell them. Say me say contractor one more sign here. Contractor one more since I am building managerial systems and former NLE. Software systems are HR department. Young building farmer womo $9 million contract. Amumaya much you be under the previous government. And Kwafanya Jumas Womwa Jisikadi or NLE. A new managing director by Wakad and what we will come to it and have those conversations. I mean, why do we do this? Nadabia no pebia this week from Monday Besine. Kwame yi peppers lebra. That Kwame for papers libra. From Monday besine and opebia front page KGL. Front page KGL. KGL na kasans wanyeri. Edian na KGL why ediama NL in Ghana. Edian why? I am throwing a challenge to NL. Say system etimima womu monitor the KGL on their platforms. They should come and demonstrate it to Ghanaians. If they have a system like that, they should come and tell Ghanaians. Yeah, the NL ni nyina ya tam NL ni nyina dia ma KGL. Ejuma say NL ni ye no. Ana KGL agidi aboso na wo ye. The people behind KGL will come to that. The directors are woman only KGL. Entia and ya tam NL company no. I mean state corporation. And ye ma say nkomo ye na sika ne bo my ho ya tam ni nyina dia ma KGL. Moba na mo be hype KGL. KGL no den why? Why ye den? You don't even understand the contract. Mobana mobe hype. Lottery Act no yetimi kan e read it here. The Embranica Act 722 yetimi kan etiasiye. We are third party collaborator. Ne yatem bibia the amount. Wo je royalties wa Ricos. Wo je royalties ewo Nigeria. Wo we are what be operating online lottery through USSD. Sika wunya nyina no peanut na ode ma NL. Movie na mo hype KG on the den why
New FM 95.1.
So that is the update ever. Now let's just check this on the screens because Otin Samana or Kana party say NLA no sorry good board amount for party say good board no Sami Jimfi or Nick Galamsey for ne dele no. Now it say or present an air party say Good Board has been able to generate over $8 billion for the company, and that particular Sikano and no NADB Asher a year your forest anymore in a 80 mama a year the seed no I strong. But even far from that, there is pure evidence a year to back this particular assertion. It's in an NCBR. The other two screens you read here. Wait, this is coming from Sami Jinfi. Or say PMMC Gold Board generates $8 billion in forex exchange for Ghana from small scale gold exports alone January 15th to October 2025. So they are saying, sir, this is the evidence that just a gold board no or boa what you say no sikano a onya no or patch say the sikano onya onye fi a small scale miners, which some people believe say gold board no sikano onya onye fi galamsey for, because say unto galamsey for gold I ben say galamsey for they will be emboldened. What am I say? But then charts in the two screens, no, someone was saying, say, oh, shit, the only time as a good board, or to me and deliver and yes, can feel good now. That was the month of August that inflation echoes through. Into a share screen, so I say, January, no, good board, Sika Munya so far, no, was $504 million. That was the first. That was in January alone. Ebra meeting fee take over no. Sika Munya in January no. $506 million. Now ye bad down so now ye share a year. The second month, that's February. February no. Gold board enya $579 million. March gold board enya $742 million. April gold board enya March gold board enya $742 million. April gold board enya $897 million. May gold board enya $1.1 billion. June gold board enya $957 million. July gold board enya $829 million. August gold board enya $706 million. Which figures never had I say August any January and February now a year and that was the time and now inflation and I say the CD was falling and the CD fell rapidly as against the dollar. And I share September gold board enya $1.1 billion. October gold board enya $532 million. It's a cunning in Abuma or share total now a $8,601,353,948.57. So you bet mark say scar gold board in total no so far no was $8 billion. And according to them no say scar we they are using to show our forest reserves no the Ghana you gold. And yes, basically you good I had two or send be a dachi be a country new kwan him a bit my ton picture it like savings, but saving now saving no and yes saving dollars you are saving it in Sikakoko gold, because gold no one currency and as a form of a currency among who they used to trade amongst themselves apart from gold. So that is exactly what is really going on. Clearly, you could see, say, people are reacting to this. People are talking about this. It is one of those things air course. So you need the indemnity, and ultimately, we'll be giving you more updates as all of these various events will continue to unfold. Therefore, Minoka say the National Service personnel and as the National Service Authority, Minoka say they've released a military uniform for Union Ketobeka is the beginning of this year and even last year. No, Mahama during his campaign, he said that what he is going to do when he's elected as a president of the Republic of Ghana, no, and they say in Myanmar or more ABU University, they'll be passing through the national service, no, or best subject to military training. Now, someone might be sitting there and say that this is very bad, this is not good, and this is torture. But in reality, no, countries like I think certain countries, I think like Myanmar and also Thailand, I just said Thailand put the mandatory before we maybe also come military 2 years military training also serving the military. At the end of the day, according to them, at the end of the day, no kumba. Once you pass through the military training, you can defend the country at all costs. In this case, Mahama wanted to do the same, or Mahama is doing the same because he wants to instill discipline amongst our youth, amongst our service personnel, and also amongst those or more university aba. And it's nano NSA boss or the same betuja say the first batch of a year NSS personnel are mobile through the military training, are started, and because Ghana you want limited training, military training boot camps, they will start with a limited number of people and then they will expand. And then Menuka say the NSS have officially doors out their official uniform on best serve and pass it through this military. So they will have discipline instilled in them. No, many can say about now. You watch a video, a short video of what some of the trainings they'll be passing through. You could see say any idea if it their grow cry is a insane p. Anyways, you share this particular video. Ye babaka ye betwa so some of the military training na yenuanom nketwa they'll be passing through at this particular time party said we want them to go through these trainings and at the end of the day they can be disciplined. You share this particular video by a betwa so.
Outside and the critic every day you shit, shame, and shine. I won't take it nonsense again. The next time I will execute the camp. What this power is and how what you are. And it becomes available only when a man or a woman is in that state of mind in which he or she knows exactly what he or she wants and is fully determined not to quit until they find it. There's greatness in you.
So it's for that is exactly what is really happening. You know, I just say the various they'll be subjected to this particular training. You know, we are just giving a snippet of how it is going to be. Regardless, we believe that it is a good cause and it is something that about instill discipline. Meanwhile, moving on to the Minister of Health, Mr. Minta Akando. It is an annual I bet to just say. Oye health minister no on the nam na de bia se bi ogin chiasa ne ade ade na manfo bisa say what happened to the Agenda 11 hospital and Minta Akando e dia ba betu just say you be shocked say Agenda 11 hospital under the New Patriotic Party administration they plan so then they don't execute no just say you find out say a kankwa or metima nyahwe e wo ho. We have the video involved of in some of the tuja yenhwe video e baba ka e beto aso
Agenda 111 no akosi sen.
You see I am one say yenuanom MPP for etiminya sa akukudro we. It's quite sometimes me dream when I'm in Tiasie.
Sir, okoboy no to
yes, but you see I would advise them say oko positioner obo nwa dua kakra. Now amafo konwa omafe wone asema wo ka no. Mama for phenomenon who say asem na mu odu na de oka no udi ka na wo ka. But yes bibia be so at a point in time no obi am serious bi. Ah we free abonu no ya. Agenda 111 time when the chart say Agenda 111. Agenda 111 shall say from 77 hospitals okay.
Okay,
COVID. And that's about 4 to 5 years ago.
Let's give it 4. Okay, 2020.
No, let me admit that. Now adia went to me for 4 years. My men for 4 years and now. Adia went to me for 4 years. I know. What's it saying?
Omunka say obisa anaona boko wanya sana.
Wait a minute. What
is the progress?
I'll tell you how far. His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I catch the Ghana phone now. And so that's why I'm saying that Yenja may be more than the MPP for no. Especially when you have been a minister before.
Hey, you have been why you don't want to come and say
you have been part of this health sector for 8 years. Whether you were a deputy minister or you were CEO for
or you were
national health insurance or you were a substantive minister. So you see, His Excellency the President the catcher and say, answer no be handed over in 2024 no. Obe completing all the 111 hospitals for us meboa. As at the time you were leaving office, not a single one of them was in operation. And Papa na ba His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ba say, I was say me tia say what I am inheriting because Usually, a major intervention like this, also need to be a very dedicated sources of funding.
Okay.
Because you free NMS need some project be and on the be a 10 project be a loan, it be a grant. But we know, buy now call the future. Say you give for say you den your copy sika de beden I continue our project.
Okay.
You understand? Inti I was say what I'm inheriting. Inti the first instruction was that auditing the whole thing.
All right.
But everybody. Inti auditing we outline how we are going to deal with it. As I speak to you now,
auditing.
Very soon, baby. Okay. Yeah, as I speak to you now.
And I tell him, say,
I will tell you, but I have to explain.
We are auditing.
No, yeah, you don't tell me what I should say.
No, but Umiana Bisa was saying, wow, hey, if you pony. Usi Minia said,
yeah, into as I speak to you now, the status of Agenda 111 near. Oma Yusu spending $400 million. Not a single one is completed.
For real?
Yes, $400 million. $400 million.
But no, I'm person may truncate you too because I don't know. Say, Unyaka not a single one was in operation. I just about Kukra and Fitiasi and Yejuma. But what's the time no move on to Muka so base at 3 or 100 and something be make 100 and something 3 or something.
West.
Yejuma.
Yejuma. Upo mo nyina should call into this program. No one can say na Yejuma na buy any pamom so mo Yejuma. They should call in. Yeah, but I'm not the
regional minister will call back who Kumasi.
Yeah, don't drag this.
So I'm not dragging. But see, my understanding
is minister of the sector. I'm Muchantro.
I minister me one way no. Oh, minister, there was some 6 minutes or something.
Can you imagine?
Because you are going for a meeting.
No, I have time.
You have time. We'll sit here. I love it. We'll sit here. We'll sit here. I don't know. No, just passing through to greet you. But Minister, argument is it was just left with the recruitment. And I'm saying,
so it is not even the civil works. You call you baby why was a installation equipment going in the hall. Equipment you install.
Okay.
Even civil works
okay.
It's when I say even if it is 100% complete, on Kasa it is an operation. So let's be very careful the terms we use. Now you say, na amafoko hoko dia yarehwe. Na yenye bae no and ya tum. Ya metu bibi etesa. Let me proceed from there. Now, the first point
na ye kasa keke. Because beginning of the year no wo call fa bi. And Vincent, honorable Vincent so call fa bi no
go. Your Vincent call ho no. No say next for gumo mo ye adwuma na.
No person say mo na mo fa wo mo. Na
you see in operation
so crampo. That's omo clearance ya mo.
It is not true.
Okay.
Okay, say it's no operational. So me go school and Tobia. Ebi am na mente brofo.
Okay.
Okay, say it's no operational. That's the chance say. Uko why na? Juma. That's it. I mean proceed from there. Now.
Okay, so for young consent for so. Sabra Minoka say a year Captain Smart and same be about to a lot of people. It is very shocking. What is Captain Smart saying? Captain Smart air purchase a President John Dramani Mahama, mini President Abako, but she Juma 1 year within these 8 months. A BT the 8 years of Akufo and Nuntino or not there for now. Now Ibisana he wants an best suggest President Mahama on your president for life. For life. Could
you disagree with a lot of the assumptions? But you made it home come because the same IMF project is by end of year the growth you be experiencing in our country 4%. Clearly, what it means is that indicators are one more day all things being equal. To say the economies more economy enkwa nkodru a year 2028 na ye Canada eso ate aba fompa go you imagine
Ejosimi na baby aboko there
baby I fine now baby the heat never
yeah na enu ti count na say I say major interviews here kakra because ayana I see intellectual dishonesty is the greatest killer of the African glory. And when you are talking to people who are intellectually dishonest, what happens to the listening public is that they create a very beautiful cloud of confusion in the minds of such people, especially the vulnerable listeners. They are not able to form a concrete opinion about the issue. And even the elite listeners know they are also confused on certain levels of figures and the consolidation of the idea which is being professed by the person who's actually being interviewed. And it confuses you, the host, and then at the end of the day, we gain nothing out of this interview. And that is why, personally, I think that we need to do away with excessively politically motivated individuals in handling our energy sector and the economy in general. When we do that, then we'll be able to subdue and succumb all other ill intent about either painting the MPP black, making the NDC look good, or painting the NDC black, or making the MPP look good, and make sure that we can have a clear-cut graph being properly explained, detailed,
position for the national conversation.
You know, so these are the things that I think that we need going forward as people. We should be able to do, because we do not have to sit down, put our fingers in our mouths, bite ourselves, see blood oozing out, and then we go rush to the hospital and tell the doctor that somebody bite me. You bite it yourself.
A lot of disagreement with Dr. Domfe.
One critical thing that I
don't know, bro, for Bapao.
Oh, there may come, bro. Make up your number.
And yet, you now come, sir. Oh, come, bro, for now.
One critical thing that we need to be very careful about is this issue of GDP and HDI, not HDP, HDI. Look, the world has moved away from gross domestic product to human development index.
Yeah.
So when you are talking to anybody and the person is fixated in the understanding of GDP, it sends a signal to me that the person is actually divorced from the normal understanding of building the capacity of individuals and the nation to the normal, and then we see her, just those things. And I think that big guys now, more academia, should help us not to read what somebody has written in UK, in Australia, in Sweden, and everything. Number one, hey, I'm going to make camera for.
I nothing wants our camera.
Number one, senior, GDP.
It's the human development index,
because our GDP is excellent, 100%.
Now there's a lot of poverty
in your system.
Sikano does not reflect indicators ninya impact.
That's just saying. But you're not about the sign, not extra. Say about the sign.
No, I agree with you. I understand.
Not extra. Number one. Or say, I buy way or holding yes, maybe in this. But let me tell you, so two on pill. John Mahama at 2%. I'm managing Ghana economy no 9 months, far better than the 8 years of Akufo-Addo and Ofori-Atta.
And no, many in your banter because there were figures at no.
Or say, I buy no coin, no.
Yes.
And now on to me Bobby Sent and I buy with soon to me Bobby here. But I buy we buy or Bobby here.
I saw what taught treasury bills near there. Yes. And then
incident of a say.
Or no kind in terms of external market.
Number one. Last year, second of Ofori-Atta, one Komobisia.
I was one G external borrowing.
But last year, February, then, of course. On Google. Normally, who said last year, February, then you see. Can Ofori-Atta go in? Last year, February. But February 2024, and 2024. And then come home. To say, then it's here. That's number one. Number two, senior, say wo ya de na make at smart
Yeah.
me fere say meka say Mr. Speaker buy no or ya de ya brefo buy no or ya de GH boy buy no or ya de Nana Kwame buy no or ya de me ebuni aye Neka say me mpe wo kan ko. The reality of the matter is that or say any train buy na $1 they come from.
I'll say a binding shed down for model.
A binding for model by
and one is a Bank of Ghana.
And as I say, Mahama or your lifetime president. You see, when they are talking as people that belong to the academia, I also respectfully want them to credit some of us with some level of knowledge. It is a binding for model be by Mahama in $1 and started so and then Mahama here president so be because $1 and Mahama deep and all from or Takufa do dia no kosoro. Is that an analogy? Or bet me about the way I have simplified it, but the reality is that where there's no model, there's no details. When we are managing an economy and you do not have models, you cannot have details.
You got the details in the model.
It's in the model.
You know, yeah.
And see, I bet me about the president to be just a speech. My yeah, just say models now. You show book 1844, 1703, and 1932. Models now gumuno. Or who say ya announce say and no back on ye using she knew. The question is that if you have a model, you'll be able to pay salaries.
Exactly.
If you have a model, you can cut your quota according to your fabric. Something kon kobobesia. And then I buy the case on international market and kobobesia.
Yeah.
None of one chi and to or that year salaries. Besides, no model man, no, your friend say. Is it a Samado model? Or what kind of model is that?
So binding decide say or no or the internal borrowing the bege juma.
IMF na no tenasiano who say Ghana ye ho chie.
Yeah.
Mahama de kum 2016 no kono. O safman for catch say wo mobile meko.
95.1.
Omre IMF be wie. Omo to ni wie. Omo extend. IMF for train ho 2020. And the economy started say say if 2021 eba see November 2024 now it's worse than worse. Now IMF I had the projection. But one thing again, yeah, kasa yete Ghana hano. Yeah, hu ye ne kan. Woni made a ekushi the economy ni sesi a. Gold kakra bi na gold board etumi ato no.
Toba no.
Because they say
I don't buy more reserves.
Fiscal consolidation. Says how you check out how say it doesn't mean anything to anybody. Because at the end of the day, now GDP Human Development Index so individuals are now finding their own means of developing their capacities, making sure they will be able to live and live successfully. Unlike before, that everything was actually subjected to the corridors of government. These days, people are objective to listen and read and look into the future and say that, from me, Captain Smart, I am paid XYZ amount at the end of the month. If government is not able to manage their lot, I as an individual, I have the responsibility
to manage yourself.
Exactly. So Human Development Index is what we are looking for. In any case, Yamobisia entry free senior high school last year. This is what I say Yamobisia school free senior high school what IMF say by 2026 Ghana before Ofori-Atta left it was 94.8% of their so-called total GDP.
I was in there 60%.
Why he's 60%?
60%.
Say he's 60%. Say he's 60. Ghana, you won't come any GDP no by say. That's how they cover 1 trillion Ghana cedis are. And then I look at 60%. Please, they should credit us with some knowledge. We are not little guys anymore. Huh? Nah, they know all from nowhere. I do him about from.
Yeah.
As a high sales for no every economy. And I'm going to tell you, so whom. I don't know what to whom. Now, a year economist now work room hana. Political
95.1
discussion na yo mo den say aban ne yehwe na de na ba fam say obi yehwe e maka kosoro na obi yeshi ema ka kosro
yeah
and obi so yeshi and a carry from side pe me no na answer for ma me kan bi na tiase
obi ye bibi ma ka
kosro and obi so ba no onye yeshi kan so ba from wo me no na answer for eti yanjin tum say Mahama yeshi yate ase atofo se yeshi yate ase but atofo se ne jo Mahama yi wo mu ti organ economy no dollar no ba from
exactly
and I also say onye hwe the dollar ne ba fam nti den e ko kan dan na anya hwe nti ama dollar ne ba fam every time say Bank of Ghana to gold
yeah
but it was not
gold for oil
yes it was not the gold board
PMMC
but wo mo to gold ni na no na dollar ne kosoro meboa ah o ka chen say o ma to gold bebre but still na dollar ne kosoro
I know they say near the koje oil
good say see obi buy and I say me the gold board aba on started say auto gold ni bebrebe no dollar na e ba fam say gold market na your baskets people do not understand the gold business we go Saudi Arabia we go America we go Switzerland now about Dubai these are the countries that omoto gold no in huge quantities
yeah
the biggest basket of gold buying is in Dubai it's what America on ba to bi o ha so if you are an economist and you tell me say obi nya she ni ho plan bi ani ho na dollar na ba for ma aba number 2 senior say it we answer na IMF bebo abaso do na oko election let's say omo krokro magana for hu so ho akono na omo atimi ato abama this is the very first time in the economic history of this country in the Fourth Republic. Sa bayadi 1 year pe na IMF ebo abay na baso. Somebody should show me any record otherwise and I'll quote to that.
The big story.
Obin me any other documents. And then I'll quote to that. Say ya me no ka say no. Ye ka no. IMF for crazy 56.1%.
yeah
A decline projected. So by 2026, we are looking at 56.1. Also by 2027,
53
and by 2028, about 51%.
yeah
Share Satu first in court trend your okuya. Na abaino aya fiscally disciplined. To say the omo yes I am telling you 51 no krebe for my sir. Do you know what Mahama is doing? Meme nyandisi ni. Do you know what Mahama is doing?
Oh, yeah,
say we are MP. Adena your friend no MP share of the common fund no.
yeah
Wa repackaging no. Or the be share big push os adenim. And or the be share feed Ghana nim.
okay
And or the be share your friend say 24-hour economy nim. Enti we are MP a nyasa wo kwa kwaji sika na kwobonsa we yi ase biom. Na ba sika sa. Your lot is within the policy. So you have to access that one. No problem. Ever since I took first about what was took here.
and there's so much as your monko
And he said, what's now shedding February 2024 crab bobby here.
Story 195.
And you didn't say boss am and kwakura for sika kura no maji good bank. Me ya mama haircut. Me ama kwatimiti so that
I own your haircut.
Me wa haircut. Me wa so na makoba shop dada. What is the economy saying? And I say Ghana economy no a small, a very small economy. Now watch this. How do you determine the size of an economy? Economy is different normal way.
The activities, production, and in the
So sometimes can we say that the total number of citizens in a country contribute the activities of the economy in their respective country and how the economy will perform?
Yeah.
Is it correct? Okay, if it is correct, Ghana and Denmark, one of your population is so. Ghana and Sweden, one economy, your population is so. People should answer. That's what I'm saying, sir. Your economists, you know, they should stop, with all due respect to my big brother. We should stop behaving like Dr. Baumia.
Okay, it's here for you. Moving on to in some fufro. So, Menoka say Paul Yando, who happens to be MPP communication director, Bako, together with a worker, an employee of Untumi, or the Adistradier Akoto, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said, Ebeyanka, Oma, a boss. Chema Untumi a pardon. Now it came after a day report Eba said Untumi's Momo account has been frozen by government according to Paul Yando. Intiapa sisi Untumi sikakra nkobeyi e dey atop petrol fit on one mobile money ye freezy bank account freezy company account freezy is a panel or dampine. Now all this is happening at the point in time Untumi trial ni beginning. If he's convicted, what we will see is that he could end up in jail for about 15 to 20 years. But before the NT sema Paul Yando or the tuja ye babaka ye beto aso.
Why should you lose obi to say Alan Chamate?
Yo, but Mr. said, Mamma Quina, Memfa appeal infa also. Na memfama Ghana by titru TF4 and will be bia biti nano base. Minya for the past 2 weeks in here. Or how near bebrese pa NDC4 editor Untumi Nemono 18. Na senipa bako ye the bail conditions to Tony Sosa it can start 50 million and about 25 million. You see Amenoka see the chairman pictures are called all border towns. Say they are called to one in the say Untumi for home pay. Yaji chairman Untumi passport and the passport would do coin. Say Untumi 2 coin. Say then to kwesi Ghana hani nyine dwania Untumi 2 coin. Ya freezy na counts. What you say? Ya season ni excavators, ya season ni pickups, ya season ni 17 cars. Ya sounds were freezy ni mobile money. Chese, o person send this car, no, obi kwa person send this car mana, nensa intimi enka. What you say? The same person a day court mienu eni dinasem. Eti me stress adie ye dey ye no. Me point in say Emra o kind article 19 I say it should be fair to every manner of persons. Where every manner of person is say we is ikeni, we you hear near it should be fair to you. We are tintin, we are theater, it should be fair to you. What you say? And so adentina onunkwa ya di wo how we nyina guni so all because oye mining. Abra ye nyina nim say mining no so no. Sa large scale mining na okura no. Ibrahim Mahama susu ekrabia yede black voter amano anase Ibrahim Mahama de yede mo sepuma ni bia amano a ono do dru nsuo ni mo de bomu say ya na nsuo na ko left e bia ko right no enya asase kese no otu ne mine no sente sa de a ene ono susu no ohwe what you say media mempe sa political equalization say yabana no I want indigens say a bit me a year juma na aboye we have always criticized I say abrofo ne ba no ma be fa yesika na edingo so indigenous so ye bia I'm for it but whereby e di nipa na to otankru wa mu sa de me feel say enye papa ntia luta mesre say oman ayetimu ye nyina ye nipa baako so wuntumi kura ye bibi ana waka bibi ni ade a yen subjecting it to sir I'm not saying say me emfa ne mfa amamranim nemom no we dey too much. What you say? Yetimi de net tum from Tuesday you see a bail condition to just a Friday. Asan yetima you because it's not easy to meet those conditions. Na yankasa na wachine bia be yaminu mienu ete he ya. What you say? Yanhwe ya na abusuafo de esu ene bedi echi ne de akoto.
I feel say reasonable with that yeah because justice cry no it must not only be said, it must be seen manifestly being said.
Paul sincerely speaking nipa bebre ensheda hu ne sa nipa no so why bonia mo be prosecutor mo prosecute na as a back and forth omo sheda no mafia ne kakra
The peace of justice.
Yes. To me. Prosecute him. Yes. What you prosecute him? He's going to trial. Yo. Perception. Allow the world to face the law.
You are done with that.
They say we are regional director. Men can't read.
Yes.
What you say? Men can't read. But I buy no shemubi. The Ebaya Yan said, "Ya won't ye near the perception you too." So,
illegal money no no.
Send money.
Documentation and it won't to me as saying Tino now by 8 years when Timan Krata. More claims he's so powerful. You yati media at the Srediana Medinam. So I hear me appeal all this while at the Sredia and a Medinam. It's media message say Yenshena Yema Abutoyemu Emra. I am a time. They open our do there. Where did you matem? Mankashi. And I'll tell you say common sense.
Common sense.
Meet me. I'm tell you. What's me a respected regional director, but semi kojina baby, mi kojina will be a fan. It is not right. And I will catch and say, Mabba and a wall your party meeting you. Who catch him say common sense. That means say hello. Media memo, media tio, Mamma, I want to refer to yes, MPP Lusuti, now the Fusano. What did you matter generally say? Who is a generally say? What I say? MPP to him. And not just say, Crown did to matter.
Correct, but it will not be fair. Another be sound very genuine. Was that the same thing also can you? What's what common sense? So reasons I
but what is in the finest manner.
Look at that. But the point is that there is one thing will be a and the second point is how you want to interpret it.
Okay.
Maybe that's your interpretation.
Maybe Alan Chamati issue. Maybe at any point in time, I'm for unity and peace. So I have my approach will be more sana metie. Nemum party MPP no. Enya party kitwa. The line mwana mukremu. Ono crowd describe ne ho say we founding member. Just say yet bibia no. O ka ho bi. Me de wo mu gina party no ma ene ye nyina ye nya bia ye de serve ye nkrofo no. Ya de a what you say? Me ni so because in penny kasa ye ka say konfu boni a watra ya afo ho ama konfu papa abeto no no ye nyina yipemu. So at any point in time enya ade meyi ni muda na me Paul so me kasa ntia no what you say? Na momu no party no so wo nhehye a ye de ye bibia ye koto aba what you say? Ye to aba ya ka che o say ye bro 5 no a enkofu gwi ena omo beto aba no se wo hwe ya me beginning na meka Alan ya kire wo se we mu na to aba we no nam dwom fo ma ho we no nam fita fo ho ya ka cho se special delegates aba ne ye kwa akoto eno chairman fo what you say ena eto sa aba no national executives ene national council Womunetu. He was not campaigning on them.
Okay.
What did I can say? Pacho ubetima mama kamasem. Ena yakoto abey. Yato abey ena ose onye krampo biem. He wrote a letter. Na letter ni mu nsem no. He mentioned two things. Say he's living on two grounds. First one, ose ni agent. Yabo ni agent for. Meanwhile, no, I was also the agent for Dr. Mahmoud Baumia in Ashanti region. Yet to Abano, Me sometimes me decision I might take you on Baumiano. And yeah, and because of where I'm coming from. My Baumia agent, I was Ashanti region. Baumia agent, I was Ashanti region. Yambono, ya friends, Alan agent, I was Ashanti region. Yambono, ya Yanishe. Apart from say Tamale, say Northeast, say her baby. And I'm the agent, no, Obi Kotwaba. And no Kotushe Nipanoso. And the person was defending.
Okay. So it's here for in summer ekoso no. Now you moving on to other news and also eba. Me no kasi Alan Chairman Tisini and Ray di kind Edinburgh will form a new political party for the UP. Now UP no, we are learning say it is from the heart and core of the Busia Dankwa Foundation. So more founding principles no and no. And it is Alan Chairman Thapi also the a party. Now me no kasi there's been questions MPP will be actually things that they will sue Alan Chairman for stealing the core of the party's name. But regardless, so we know we are also learning say all these things are air question. Alan Chairman before Obetis a particular party no, he was extended an olive branch. Michimiya and that is MPP for Panachosa or the Ombe joining party no. Say Vice President Kebemanidi. But then he actually resisted this particular cause. And that's sorry and also say what a party. You could see in some the details in regards to this particular one. Of
the United Party chairman Abubakar Sadiq Boniface said they aim to restore Ghana's politics to its founding ideals of integrity and nation-first leadership.
But today they claim they are giving us amnesty. What does amnesty mean? What crime has our new leader committed? What crime did I commit in MPP for you to sack me? And today you are telling me you are giving me amnesty. No way, no way. When you divorce in Islam, when you divorce a woman 3 times, she's no longer your wife till thy kingdom come. I consider myself, I consider people like Baba Alaji in the Islamic fraternity have been sacked. We don't belong to anybody. We came and contributed. Ghana first. We believe in Ghana and nothing else. Our members include people, renowned people in this country. Some were members of parliament, cabinet ministers, some from NDC, some from MPP, PNC. Today they have come together to form what we call a united party. If they had forgotten, the UP was inaugurated when? 3rd November 1957. When Kwame Nkrumah was introducing what we call ADA, Avoidance of the Discrimination Act. This was where Otunfo called Ochiame Bafwa-Kutu and said, look, gentlemen, Kwame Nkrumah is saying that by December, if any party formed based on religion, ethnicity, regionalism, that party will be banned by 31st December 1957. So you see, people are born being smarter than people who think they are in positions. Bafwa-Koto was CPP, but by the instructions of Asantehene, he quickly moved around the whole country, pulled all the parties together, and then they came and formed a party called UP, United Party, because it was broad-based.
You had the national chairman of the United Party, the Abubakar Boniface, referring to an amnesty that the MPP has given. But so, what is contained in this amnesty given by the NPP? My colleague Kenneth Jesse joins me in studio with more. Kenneth, let's understand what this amnesty was all about.
Well, Bray, so about 2 months ago, the New Patriotic Party issued a communique which was signed by the party's acting national chairman, Dankwa Smith Bute. That was on the 25th of August 2025, and it said that the party has announced a general amnesty for all members who were suspended or had pending disciplinary cases before the party's adjudicatory bodies. The decision taken at a National Council emergency meeting on the 25th of July 2025 aims to promote unity and reconciliation ahead of the party's political engagements. Under the directive, all suspensions and ongoing disciplinary proceedings have been lifted. However, reinstated members will remain ineligible to contest any internal party elections until a mandatory 2-year period has elapsed. Party executives at all levels have also been cautioned to strictly adhere to established disciplinary procedures in handling future matters. And you will recall some time back that Alan Shermartin famously broke away from the New Patriotic Party when he failed to garner enough votes to lead the party, and he took most of the new members of this now united party with them. So really they are referring to this particular communique that was issued by the party on the 25th of August.
Thank you very much, Ken. But the General Secretary of the newly formed United Party, Yabu Abiyansamoah, says the group remains confident of the chances in future elections, despite its poor showing as a political movement in 2024.
We were very competitive in that election, except that our vote did not reflect the effort and the belief that went into it. If you were witness to some of our campaigns, you noticed how our t-shirts were being rushed after and torn from our grabs. But we believe very strongly that we're not fairly treated in that election. We were cheated, bottom line. We're investigating it and we'll put the full facts out. There are many, many people who voted for us, stood at polling stations waiting to hear the results and came out crying that they voted but they heard zero. So many instances of that. So we are confident, and this didn't come out of the blue. The very people you believe did not vote for us are the people who urged us and insisted that we should transform into a political party with full-fledged structures, including the possibility of MPs, which is going to happen, and that with that, they will now be bold and confident and know that we can win. You know, we have to break this myth about smaller parties not being able to win. And it is a myth because it is about the voter. If the voter chooses to vote a particular way, and in the last election, nearly 2 million people chose not to vote at all. It's a vote. Refusing to vote to push your party into opposition is a vote, which means that there is a whole well of apathetic, discontented people who are looking for more from politics than they are getting at the moment. We are in the right place at the right time.
You're still listening to Top Story, brought to you always by Telecel and Shield Pension Trust. Let's now engage some stakeholders of this on Top Story now. Mustafa Salam is MPP youth organizer, and this is the party from which this UP broke away from. So what will they be making of this particular movement? Salam, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. I mean, UP says despite your amnesty that you gave, they are not returning. I'm sure by now you should be nursing or thinking about why you took the decision in the first place to sanction them.
Good evening to you and your cherished listeners. I don't think that we are panicked at all. As a political party, we understand that it's a mass party. The rationale behind the amnesty we granted was broad-based. One, a number of suspensions were done before and during the election that we thought that, looking at where we were as a party, it is prudent that we clean up our slate and offer an amnesty to all members of the party who have pending issues before this federal committee, or due to one reason or the other, they were issued with suspensions. And a number of people, a number of constituencies have such disciplinary issues. So it was based on that we issued the amnesty. Let's distinguish one or two things. Let's put some things into perspective. When you resign from the party, it is completely a different matter. As a party, we run based on rules, regulations. We have a constitution that guides our operation.
So are you arguing that the amnesty you put out there did not cover people who belong to the then movement for change?
Let me give you this. When you resign from the party voluntarily, you have left. If you wish to rejoin the party, you must apply. Again, in the constitution of the party, when the party sponsors a candidate and you go against the candidate, you automatically forfeit your membership of the party. And to rejoin the party, you must apply.
But there have been circumstances that people have gone against candidate that you sponsored, but have been brought back into the party. We never heard of anything like they have reapplied to rejoin the party.
You certainly go through a certain process to rejoin. And that is so for almost every member of the party. Coming to say that I am rejoining the party itself is a process. And that you are taken through the formal joining of the party, you are issued with membership. So let's not.
Okay, so that is the issue in regards with Alan Chairman saying. Now, you're moving on straight to your Sarah Drasaf. We all know say and Chibian information by sending Papa Safo Kantanka Waka baby. But then there are issues in regards with herself together with her family members in Ibisan for any Crystal Safo mission. No? I didn't make us a family members no Ibisan penny ede then sa eshe and krata say eba say Ubi biara pesa one a year Safo family no and I can thank a family no edi juma ewo ni wo no ho nhyehyeye. You can't deal with Safo Junior. So Safo Junior no happened to be the former CEO of Kantanka, and now no nipa ba kwa ono so na no aba beto san same way Jonas allege say you know Safo Kantanka na Kantanka CEO ono an ehu se papa ninjuma oyi nya ono da no be kamia kwese Sarah Adjoa Safo si an opese oye den operate no oje japade ni nyina all in the name say ono ye ba penny. And according to a year Jonas, so this is happening. Adiwe is sad because nipa no bitima ye juma no bitima nyene nsa aye the dirty work ama Kantanka mobile and Kantanka to mobile aye company no Safo Kantanka Junior. But then because of politics any aye esikanti no yenhwe de ekoso yenti nsema Twin Jonas edi to joeba ebeto aso
Apostle Kwayo Safo awi on say Adjoa Safo any ni group we kotua sika se ye medi ye nua na tem se be ya omunua junior you know I boy na odi papa na chi no papa iti ase nyina boy na ya kyerɛkyerɛ na adwuma na ni so obetima ye ka obetima ye TV on be saa ma bibia be sey na o mada na hiafo anti Adjoa Safo team enko na brantie no so team nko na sisi a no o ma crash anti esi a no papa ni nya pade no ono si wa jabi bibia ma ne ba brantie no oba wo de japade e koma na o de koma be ma ne mpena Jimmy entima munya ma Adjoa Safo ma meje ye di post ma no do me komenya wantimi anya ka kwan ba akokora entimfa so ni so entidi entina chinchini ama Jimmy ntikantanka busuafo nkwasiafo mumu ache mienu abra papa ne te ase o si mini wa junior na ma training from Kurabrem since amewo ni nyina kwa Joseph Junior and take over musima Jimmy nti mo be ya pam Junior no na busia panyini si ma Junior ne ma yi na se na busia panyini si empe Junior ho na mu Jimmy mo nyina mbeda na hiafo moa oba yemfa japade enhya ne nsa o hu manage kwase bi kwanyem no na oda hospital feed ne ma on time ebe bibia be sei fama be ma no papa ne ti ase nyina na papa na yemre be ma na na ekoba won manya ne saa mo de ma be ma na no ma make sure say onko ware kwase bi na oba ne nkuno no magie japade no cause Adjoa Safo no ye ma ne position
obeja position no obetena bruchire saa na mo de kantan kan hye ne saa obeja no obedi be ma bi achi America o na bibia dane enkukobuo bibia be sei e kan okra kire mo o ga se kwakuma no yiri oye be ma nko obeja ne ma no se o mntena Ghana dabi kwakuma no de ne yiri ba bruchire me de o ba bruchire na wa be fa me ma aba ni omu nyina ko school papa na o ma bra bo asi omu yie obeduru ye waja ne mana gu Ghana ho kwakuma no so eno di Pakistan ni abo achi anyo oba ne betimi aye sa ankwase asemu ya be ma bia ni wa no obe ye sa ankwase ade no kasa mire obetwe ne mana ba bara oba on fa ho ti on na me che no nti se kantanka wu wa building nice family, nice investment, nice companies after companies. Na papa na wu na was it me ni ho a machi momfa ma me ba boy we even though say papa ni interview bebrebe o was say me wo mam mpanimfo bebrebe but me na Nyankopon ayi de memfa machi nya no one ne Kwa Joseph Junior papa ya kasa de we more than interview ahodo more than 50 ojina ba bia setem na Kwa Joseph Junior no kra ya akra kitikiti o no di papa na chi tuwo experience ewo de papa ne ye nyinam da bi majiminti oh ye free ni nsem mi emfa nkoma Adwo Asafo because Adwo Asafo akotua bribe ma obi enti mo ye sa on mo be se bibia o wiase nya jimi ne ye o ye di nimde na ye dwoma ma ba ya wa jimi nya na wasise esika de hwe for na foi ba onim nyansan ko diska be re betua na esifo ne ka no de atua teacher for ka na country ni move smoothly ba diska ko hwe for na fa so be na benya for na no metua tax ma for na no me ye hwe ma de na benya enti nipa wa jimi no ye dia wa jimi wo de meche no ba diska ni tia na esifo na number 1 o me save nipa nkwa enti nipa na o yare na o me save ni nkwa wa nwu no e bia wo store o company obekwa akoye adwuma obenya ahoden no akotua tax ama aban no ba diska ni koma for na kwase ampanyi mani dia unyanse wo timo yi enti apostle Kwa Joseph abusianfo nkwasiafo e media Twini Jonas meka no kra kire mo momma abrantie no enye CEO ti se de na papa ne ti ase no ye CEO no papa no onye kwasia onim nyansa waputu akra no ana ne mani nyina onim obi asuban o man 100 kwa onim obi asuban Adwo Asafo kwasia ba no ne na mo ana papa no chusu se me ba we ana me ni ho a obere obehema nan na papa ne ti asimpo kantanka bibia akra ne na eye ne baboy ne na eye entitama papa ne ntia enwu ye nyina no abrantie ne na o pe bibia o di animu ye be kasa ma kantanka papa abrantie na kasa ye be ye bibia abrantie na kasa setem na Adwo Asafo no wen na odi kwoti achi enti mesramo mamu ma bibia mesei na bibini su ye nipa ye nwene ati say mu nyina mugu Ghana everywhere minute bi aban masinam mugu Ghana o munim say oyi akosi asewa ena awari da dilumba o mu ada dilumba ni o ma wo ma fo na aka nyina nkru ni odobroni o mu nyina side chicks enti aye dan na yesi o oba na wawari da dilumba ni ye ma no emeye kuna ye ma ne ma yiye na se ye be ma side chick ba ko na ba yiye na se abaye yire na ona mo yesa we no jimi na mu jimi dadi lumba insu ogina ba bia ato nwuma mabusuan mesramu miwu a miwu achi mamu remfi akosi asewa no abre e wo me ho ono awo wo ne nwum nyina o an ochese da winim abusia panyi senti abofomo abusia panyi ube wu sika de kwahe abusia panyi su be wu bio sika o de kwahe papa yi oti ase ne nwuma o ye nyina baby ani waka se o mi wu achi momfa mamure mfi odobroni ana mamure mfi me sai chick we dabi osi mi wu achi me yire akosi asewa mamure mfi ne da na wabre wo me ho papa enti abrewa yi onye momobo aketesu abeji abrewa ikunu one for so many years na wawu nso a mosi dabi yebeto maami atwene ni amasai chika be yire omo yesa enye fine na yesa mama saman na yesa ma twentwen because saman ni ntimi nko na asamando because of the wishes nyina ma rotating because of my selfish reason ti ade na bibini nko agimi enti abusia panyini no ade achi na obi akuna o deserve na kyo se oba na ni bire ajapade enye ajapade a enka dada ke di wuye no the same way obi amedi kuna no saa na nka dadi lumba nsuko ba bi ama but dadi lumba wa ajapade ni nti ombeba na oma ba beku oma be kontokwa at the end of the day ombesan ku abusia panyini na gusu nti careful ma pa na twiro ne real nyina wo ne nwumu se mi wu a na ne mana obobo mu di Kevin Fosu Kevin ayikwadwo Fosu a onu ntina mebre me man ntina mebre omu nyina man fra mu ayi na se man invite omu ama omu de letter aba say omu nti ase se omba pawu na da bi a body da omu nim da de tedi ayi obi afra omu kan nkyere omu ombeti wo social media o chese omu nim hwe why adan mu di wiase kwan ana Daddy Lumba FM no mani bere Daddy Lumba I say wa bro odobro ni hwe bibi yo bibi ye me on be catch him say now we made am ko fa betena afio ana afo so ya e ma Daddy Lumba nyemo sa no be catch him ba me de ni nyina achi no yenye dan me blemu Daddy Lumba no obi anfanto na ofo o tiwi ase a memeti a menkodi obi aba mi ni obi ani asem enya fe na obi bekume enya fe na me ni obi wo problem hu se me yare a na weda no na asesa na me hwene mu so ne suo because me yanwome anto America enti weda no and sometimes it may make a crack but
Therefore, so that is the issue there currently. Straight up, near moving on to Dr. Bawumia. Me no can say Dr. Bawumia, ne keen supporter ba kufene Dr. Zato wa clash with Solomon Owusu and nyina no alanchemantini new party or diaba or CFN the United Party. Now, you know, a brand no have a discussion no, and na Dr. Zato eka say, o share Ghana history ni mwa two things MPP NDC asa. Opa ye den the effect duopoly we untimi embrake baako monopoly okay into ko China party system na baako pe anti as ane any effect communist but then oba oko America party systems na you two which is Republican and also the Democrats which is duopoly into Ghana so ye dey near two MPP, NDC, the main political parties in duopoly. But obi fi echi so okwotia na wo alanchemantin we dia yin se okwo 70 years. Na benda and na be call elections 4 times e win enko ye. So this was the message on Solomon Owusu on the clash Solomon Owusu e said no. And maybe a trim in the early 2000 ye come ye bomb match and ye boboa and ye Sunday Accra House of Folk any your friend is Sekotokwa. They were the two teams and ye Don Bote your friend is saying Charles Taylor them times no two teams at the whole Ghana. He said you can't go anywhere without Kotoko and Has. But Neno top 10 crowd Ebua Kotoko nim Ebua Has. Let's encourage video. Near share how this whole clash went. Ye Babaka ye Betuaso.
I can state without any hesitation and any equivocation that this new UP Plus will have zero and an infinitesimal impact on the NDC MPP duopoly.
They will have what?
Zero impact. Zero. Infinitesimal. It will not happen.
Infinitesimal.
Infinitesimal, yes, I hope that I pronounced the word well. I also state that the ultimate objective of this party is not to win power. It's not to become no. The
Really?
ultimate objective is to hurt His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and to prevent Bawumia coming. This is a party that was conceived by the hatred and the dislike of Bawumia, not by any political ideology. If you want to understand what I'm saying and understand, I'm not a soothsayer, but sometimes I do this. You must ask yourself a question. Have you ever heard of President Reku Robe? Have you ever heard of President Park Indum? Have you ever heard of President Guzitano? Have you ever heard of President...
To ask, or I was to ask that to define what bitterness is, it will be very difficult this month. He's just using word. Anyhow, yes, bitterness.
He said he can define
How is he going to define bitterness? He did join the MPP because
the university professor discussing.
What is the definition of bitterness?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so
Let me give him 30 seconds.
Well, is bitterness a term of act?
That is what I want to understand.
Bitterness is because Alan has been thinking that he has been...
What is your definition?
Oh, I'm telling you in this context. He's thinking that was the heir apparent. He's the big man who has been there for all of a sudden. This small Pepe New Kramofor Akwadawe Abe Bitino. So he's like, how can me, this big Alan Samantha Alan Cash, sit down and allow this small...
So that's
that is the bitterness. That's the thing. And so he cannot come to them that. That is what I mean by what? Bitterness and jealousy of the UP.
In the last primaries in Sisala East, where my brother took part.
I lost massively, yes.
I'm coming. Don't go there. This morning, I have time for everything.
Okay.
When he lost graciously, he stood before the people and said he had even left the MPP. Was it bitterness?
That's a lie.
Me a lie?
That's a lie.
How did you transition from your Sisala East to Nandom? Is it Nandom? Nandom is Upper West, right?
Okay.
Why did you transition from Sisala East to Nandom? You stopped even playing the politics of Sisala East to Nandom. Was it bitterness?
Okay, thank you.
So
can I answer the question? No, I don't hold it. You cannot ask me a question. You cannot ask me.
What were we looking for? We thought that the MPP was mismanaging this country. And so we needed to distance ourselves and fight for the change of this country. The people of this country accepted the idea of a change, but they said, look, it was not your time, so the NDC benefited from it. And the data is showing. When you are interpreting data, you have to find out why all of a sudden there was a huge drop in votes in the Ashanti region. That should give you an indication. Now, this idea that whether you like it or not, there is NDC and MPP cannot hold. Because you see, if we are to go into even the football arena, when we started our football in this country, the Ghana football, from the 1956, if you had asked anybody who had been following football from even the 70s and told the person that a time will come, Kotoko and Haas, you will not be finding them in the first two, nobody would have believed you. Mm-hmm. In today's Ghana, we play Premier League, and Kotoko and Haas struggles to even occupy the 4th and 5th position. Because of the same mindset that, as for us, whatever you do, we will still win. And so they started doing anything anyhow. The UP has come with a strategy. Say organization decides everything. If our coming was not impactful or it was not going to have any impact, I'm not too sure you will have the MP for Wale Wale, Kabiru, go and sit on TV and say that they are already threatening a legal action against the name.
Well, they said that there's an attempt to dilute the history of the NPP, and so they're going to court on the strength of Section 10 of the Political Parties Act.
We will meet them there, but I would be very surprised. I mean, we have lawyers, and we will meet them there. But the point is that, contrary to the view of Zato that it is going to have a zero effect, zero impact, zero everything, his own a member of his party, who is a member of parliament coming from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's hometown, is already threatening. Though I have not heard any of the lawyers make that point, but he, as an economist, is saying that he's going to court. Why? Because his view is that we have touched the heart and soul of the MPP. That's number one. Number two, already their second vice chair is insulting Mr. Alan Jemati, cursing him. That why has he gone for the soul of the party? As we speak, if you go to the Ashanti region, and I'm speaking on authority, that all those that were very much affiliated to the UP have said that their party has come.
They said their party has
come. They have been waiting for the UP all this while. So if you have Zato sitting down here and say that's going to have zero effect, I can only leave him to glorify in the very things that he believes in. We are very much focused. We are going to start grassroots mobilization, mobilize from the polling stations to the constituencies, to the region, to the national. Sell our message to them, the message of hope, unity, the message of transformation. Give it to the people of this country, and let's go into election 2028 and see the candidate they are bringing. In any case, I don't see how you can equate even the whole entire MPP to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I don't think so. I don't think that those that are contesting will even be happy with you. So there is nothing of bitterness. It is pure political pluralism. We believe that Ghana needs more parties, to as it were, advance our democratic cause, and we are doing just that. And I believe that as he's wearing yellow today, which is our party color, maybe the way he's able to transform within a short space of time, he will join our political party and he will be welcomed.
Dr. you are expecting that Dr. Zato will join your party? The UP Plus.
If you saw how he insulted the people who voted against him during the last election, I wouldn't be surprised that he joined us.
On that path of the bitterness you refer to, I think it will be fair to have Dr. Zato retract that earlier.
Absolutely.
Description of I'm coming of what, in his view, bitterness is, and some words that were used to describe Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, which he says in his mind is the bitterness Alan is feeling. Dr. Zato,
I use words saying that I was him as a small Bope penny. I withdraw those.
Perfect. Thank you.
for in some day bebre. Now yam twaso, me no ka say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wabelande ewo Ghana. Recall say he was in China just some few days ago for a Beijing summit at Oshia, Chinese President Xi Jinping on in picture them. A whole lot of conversation went on. But then what we also saw behind the scenes was an unfiltered interview John Dramani Mahama have a word Budimaya. Now, in this particular video which is an unfiltered video, which basically means shut down planning, jasu kawanjene sa pepe. John Dramani Mahama edin same be etuja when he was questioned say ebani say na a friend is saying Ghana ye independence and ye koko anye de akọ ye kolo ye de akọ man who also say omo fanye chocolate emaye and a President John Dramani Mahama eka say onim how all of these things happen and in China and the UN speech or the two just say African nations sisi was so share how rely on their colonial masters, okay, relying on their former colonial powers for survival. Because many years after independence, still nah backroom akra na sebiu yedi esimukra na ekra yentie ni enhwe the video of what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama edituja yeba yebetuaso.
I love your outfit.
Thank you.
I love the fact that you've been intentional with what you wear when you're out of Ghana.
Yes.
You're representing the continent.
Yeah, and also boosting the garment industry in my country. This is weather friendly for our temperature. It's comfortable, easy to wear. And I only wear suits for some official occasions, but otherwise, every day at work, I feel more comfortable in this attire. Or else, then, for some official appointments, you have to wear our traditional attire.
Your speech at the UN General Assembly was brilliant. The future of the world is Africa. Can you tell us more about that? Because a lot of Africans felt like Nkrumah is back again.
Well, when you speak from the heart, that's how it comes across. And so you need to put your thoughts into your speech and own the speech, and that is what I did. I crafted it. And I meant every word in there. I talked about reparations. I talked about the global system and how it is changing and how it has been unjust to Africans. And in any new global order that succeeds it, there must be justice and equity for Africa, including having an equal say, in international global institutions like the United Nations, the World Health Organization, the multilateral financial institutions, the IMF, the World Bank, and all that. Africa must have a greater say in all these institutions. Aside from that, the current world order is rigged against Africa. And so if you look at the colonial patterns of trade that were established by our colonial masters, they are the same patterns of trade. Railways lead to only where there are resources, and they lead from there to the ports in order to extract those resources and export them to other destinations. We continue to live as colonial slaves. Let me call it new colonial slaves, because we have a flag and we have independence, but still the system is rigged such that we have to export materials raw to our former colonial masters. They use those resources, to produce manufactured and finished goods, and then determine the prices of those goods and export them back to us. But when we export the raw materials, we don't determine the price. We don't determine the price of cocoa. We don't determine the price of gold. Cocoa doesn't grow in Europe, and yet Europe determines how much cocoa should be purchased for. And so these are all the kinds of things that we need to look at.
Does it mean that we are not fully independent, like what you're just saying?
Yeah, Nkrumah said it. After we gained independence, he said we're moving from the era of colonialism to the era of new colonialism. It will take time to reform the system. For instance, we've passed the African Continental Free Trade Area.
Yeah.
But even though we can export duty-free, tariff-free into each other's markets, where are the railways to move those goods? Where are the ports to move those goods? Where are the roads to move those goods? If you have to move goods from Ghana to another African country, you probably must have to transship it through Europe or some other destination before it gets there. So until we're able to establish the infrastructure to be able to exchange people and goods between ourselves, we cannot fully utilize the potential that the African Continental Free Trade Area gives us. And that is part of the new colonialism that I talk about.
I'm hoping that one day Africa will be borderless, and I think it has to start from Ghana, because this is a campaign that I've been on for quite some time now. I'm hoping that one day
West Africa has been borderless for a long time. We signed the protocol on free movement of people decades ago. And so West Africans are able to move to each other's countries 90-day visa-free. And I don't see what the big deal in extending it to the rest of Africa is. And that's why I was one of the first presidents when I came back from the AU conference in Kigali, and we're not able to move the free movement of people. I came and passed, the regulation that allowed any African passport holder to be able to receive visa on arrival when they come to our airport. And it didn't bring the sky down. There was not an immediate movement of people from all over Africa coming to crowd into our country. But it made it easier for business people, for other Africans who want to come as tourists to our country to be able to do so.
Welcome to China. They will say, Zhongguo, Huan Ying Lai Dao Zhongguo.
Mr. President, I wish I could speak it as well as you.
Zhongguo. Zhongguo, China.
Zhongguo.
Yeah, Zhongguo. Yeah, Huan Ying Lai Dao Zhongguo.
Huan Ying Lai Dao Zhongguo.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You tend to be coming to Africa, Asia, China and the likes.
Okay.
Take it from there.
Yeah, I want to know why China this time around. Yeah.
I was honored to be invited by President Xi Jinping as the only African president to be invited to the Global Leaders Conference on Women. There was also the Prime Minister from Mozambique. Yeah, but at the level of president, I was the one who was selected to come, and that was an honor for me. But it also gave us the opportunity to thank China for the role they played in Ghana's debt restructuring. China is a co-chairman of our bilateral creditor committee, and I know the role that China played to get us a negotiated deal in the G20 debt treatment framework, especially in the negotiations with the bilateral creditors. And so it gave us an opportunity to express our appreciation to him. Indeed, Ghana got its approval in record time, the fastest that has ever happened. And so it opens the way for other countries that are debt distressed to have the same. And so I had the opportunity to say thank you to President Xi, but also to discuss important issues of interest in the relations between us in terms of pivoting into a new era of trade and investment that is discussing China's policy of 0% tariffs for all African countries. And so we had the opportunity to negotiate that. We agreed in principle. We've not signed off yet, but we've agreed on a target date where we'll complete the negotiation and sign off. So it will mean that Ghana can export duty-free into the Chinese market. But one of the things we need to do, which is important, is not just enough to export, to have zero tariff exporting into the Chinese market. If we do not harmonize our standards, because China has quite some stringent standards, and so we need to harmonize the standards between the Chinese Standards Authority and our Ghana Standards Authority, so that if we get approval from any of the two standards authority, we know that the product is of the quality that can be exported to Ghana or exported to China. And so that will be the next stage after we sign off on the zero tariff. But we also had the opportunity to discuss issues of bringing Chinese investment into Ghana. We want to position Ghana as the gateway to Africa. And so we're creating Ghana as the hub. Right now we have an expanded port and new ports. Phase 1, Phase 2 have been completed. We have one of the most efficient ports, top 10 ports in Africa. And I believe that there's a time. Our economy is doing well, it's stable, interest rates have come down, inflation has come down, our currency has stabilized. Yeah. So there's a time to attract Chinese investors, indeed Asian investors and investors from other locations to come and create Ghana as their hub for manufacture and export into other African countries and to the rest of the world.
Your Excellency, Sheshen.
Thank you. Sheshen.
All right. Thank you.
All right, so that was a good one from the President of the Republic of Ghana together with Woody Maya. Very, very great interview. Now, you're moving on straight to another issue. Menokasi Kwabna Edubuahin, Menokasi Naswan Sheyepa. What is really happening? We also say Attorney General case now all proceeded against Kwabna Edubuahin in regards with National Signals Bureau. No, it is going on very fast. Now, for starters, though, there are 4 people, okay, who are involved in this particular case. The 4 main accused people. Number 1, the Republic versus the 4 people. Bracket as one. You know, in terms of law, no, A1, A code A1, A2, A3 and A4. A1 no Kwabna Edubuahin. A2 no na yere screen so. Na A3 no nipa na apparently no bank yiska no okoba no yiska no depositi. And na A4 ni Advantage Solutions. I know Kwabna Edubuahin, the first company obi ye. Na in the update ebrel say the third person or the third accused person that the state is charging no or the same betu just say no the onim insen no share because Oshia Kwabna Edubuahin na odi ne 30th birthday ewa Assemblies of God Church ewa East Legon. Emuna pastor introducing so papa obebo afere na sa Assemblies of God Church no A3 no ono so the state is charging her together with Edubuahin na yire any company no opache say she was just a treasurer at church michiwi ya sikano afore sikano ni ade aforebo sikano ono hweso she was also a bank teller Universal Merchant Bank no obeye a salesperson. Intino introduce it when she was introduced to Kwabna Edubuahin ebro be bo for the 30th birthday no emu na say one no ebon commerce me yejuma o UMB bra na be account itin ekoso a ama UMB no jaye because no pass be ote no ye transfer na be transfer no ko na howa inti ye transfer no na be ye transfer no ko na enyema na ojaye na o catch Kwabna Edubuahin say me pay juma e wona Kwabna Edubuahin e cast o pay juma dia company ama be wo bank a wanka sa catch say me be account no Advantage Solutions no ye no be yejuma but ya money any letter say ono ene Kwabna Edubuahin yejuma but onim say every month we are to an 3,000 cedis but in 2021 and this what happened in 2021 Kwabna Edubuahin friend is sisi no wasan kwete company for the Signals Bureau okay no omo be a whole lot of things it no ye a co your friend is saying director of the company the character ne be fie and no sign ye and it went on and on and on and on now on the party say on call office on Monday to Friday no tifie o yejuma remotely but then not oje orders from Kwabna Edubuahin na yere okọ deposit scan we yi scan ko mom and no pe and no ye it is no Attorney General catch Attorney General so onim nsem no bibia but then obitima testify against Kwabna Edubuahin ane na yere na eno ena me no kase Kwabna Edubuahin case no yesan free bi ma okọ no odi nsem bia ba betuja to him no the states and Attorney General or use certain tactics be obi ye bia to make sure that he will be in jail. Now there are people who are also saying say you said huni papa nipa didn't send me baba to Attachia, the lawyer of Kwamna Edubuan. But before then, no, you ensure this particular except your bar you better also with a full view of Attachia.
Mildred Donko, who is a former director of Advantage Solutions Limited, the company allegedly used by Edubuahin to move the 49 million Ghana cedis to buy landed properties in Accra, Kumasi, and London, as well as other properties, was facing the charge of conspiracy to launder money and a substantive charge of money laundering. She had pleaded not guilty and was on bail. In court on Friday, October 17, prosecution led by Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Remsai informed the court of a new development which constituted the withdrawal of charges leveled against the third accused, Mildred Donk, citing Section 59 of the Criminal Procedure Code 1930, Act 30. But counsel for the former National Signals Bureau boss, led by Ofori-Atta, objected to the method in which the Deputy Attorney General dropped the charges. He averred that, due to the far-reaching nature of the charges leveled against Mildred Donko, the Deputy AG ought to have filed a motion for the court to make a determination. In his ruling, however, Justice Eugene Yedunyante dismissed the objection, explaining that the Attorney General has the constitutional mandate to prosecute or withdraw cases without the consent of the court. The court subsequently discharged Mildred Donko as the third accused person in the trial and expunged her name from the records. Lawyer for the third accused, Elikpuli Magbamava, expressed satisfaction at the decision of the court, rehashing his client's innocence.
Grateful to the court, for discharging my client. Generally, upon receiving a brief, I always believe that there was a total lack of menswear, to commit a crime. If you see, my client was not mentioned as being part of the crime of stealing. Her name only appears in count, I think 11 or 12 or so. 10, 11, yes. So it's pretty clear that in terms of the formation of whatever has gone wrong, she was not part of that conclave, to decide on anything.
But, reacting to the development, Ofori-Atta described Mildred Donko as being two-faced.
I never knew that there's a lady who was capable of double standards. I never believed that somebody would say that, oh, my mouth is in another man's kitchen, but today, for the sake of my freedom, I'm going to betray that person. But what is she going to betray us with? That's the whole point of the matter. What does he know that if he should come into the public space, the case will go against us? We are not scared about it. But you see, the obvious lofty prostitution is what should worry the Attorney General. Attorney General is comfortable with a woman who will speak with two mouths. We'll see how she will fare under cross-examination.
The trial resumed with the prosecution calling on its second witness, the Director of Finance at the National Signals Bureau, whose evidence-in-chief was examined.
The case has been adjourned to October 23rd and 24th for the continuation of the evidence-in-chief by the Director at the National Signals Bureau, who is the prosecution's second witness. We'll see how things will pan out as this case continues. Sorry, Tuesday News.
So that is exactly what is really going on. Now, the lawyer of Attachia will question the lawyer of Kwamna Edubuan and Attachia, lawyer Attachia will question say, I think the third person, Mildred Donko, all of a sudden, no, or see anu de sika na oje deal na na ekoso no so gene carton or see onu de onim ho hwe. Until you saw a certain thing say, how can an accused person now have double face and a double standards? Say, oh, did na no kitchen. But see, na sema bani na no ni kitchen who be. Or party say, under cross examination, be question Mildred. And this is a case that I say, honestly, no. Who say MPP4 be no, they are not really defending. I say, most MPP4, unlike how I be who say, ya chichema who to me station ho any and no, they are not going there. And the same thing is also happening with the NSS scandal. Lady, friend is saying, Gifty Oware Mensa. Gifty Oware, she was supposed to appear in court, but what did she said? She said that Oyare into the medical excuse from Echo say courts ne emani 2 days. Not just onfa ne entono. Clearly, no tactics they have to make sure that she is in the country. So in some of the we are looking at this definitely from all angles and all a year at the end of the day, how this whole case will unfold. Therefore, Minokasi Otunfo he's doing very well. Yesterday we gave you an update. Say we share a delegation from Germany. Okachom say Oko Kumasi magazine Swami marketer. Yewo afita for any artisans. One more yen pabua. One more nema bebre and also one more manufacture nema woho. But then they have the skills, but then they lack the help. They lack the technology and also the needed apparatus to help them get to the level. And you know, Germany for the him said they are good in Benz, they are good in just cars, papa de Germany, omu produce ho. And you know, when the delegation from Germany about two for Anasia, almost say almost cry if the German president ho bano. Otu for car said next time no Anasi see no they are deciding to me say ebeya Mumbwa Kumasi magazine. Now, I'm sure how you guys can help if it is a loan or something. You need to and call for maybe Kumasi Swami magazine can be the Silicon Valley in a year in Ghana or perhaps Ashanti region. But far from that, so and yeah, that's alright. There's a video trending now. To some people, if you Ghana go there, if you Ashanti region, but now Ashanti region, sometimes you ask yourself, say region we they give the country a lot, but then what did they get in return? Nothing. And then some group of people are started saying, say, Ashanti region, okay, in terms of political studies, any geography, secessionists, they want to basically separate themselves from the country. It has happened before. I say, now voter region, there was one separatist. Or no per se voter region enti ne ho na be bia modern Togoland ye che na isi akron wenya ne bianko pato ne safro na wewu yenko tie how this particular papai or din say mutujo say isi an Ashanti region, it needs to be a country on its own. No mu figure ni nja Ghana say bi e man crime for ni anwo for yen hwe video e ba e beto aso
ya percent ye be da so no na Ashanti ate oni e di esika na se bi yewura ti da esika no so na nke di esika nti wura ma udu borderline no access kan wo wura ti ni say ya percent ye be da so no na Ashanti ate oni e di esika na se bi yewura ti da esika no so na nke di esika nti wura ma udu borderline no access kan wo wura na so bi ama yenke pe no na se nyame ma palesi ka dama pa ya sani pe ni hunu se e be ma ya hwate because Ashanti de no dan baby dada no come on enti Ashanti no obetumi so asate because ya kase ka we ya ni enu no mta ko bi so yese bi ye nye ne sa me se ya ntiti mo si enti se bi yesrem ni kura na Ashanti ko ya ne titi enti bi Ashanti ni pro enti mi ka se bi a me ka se bi o ya tie no bi a fi baby abeyi to abodu ha no fo no wadi abra du wa se no mo ye na ha de tro because Ashanti bi ha de tro na good my dear teacher and here why say be na say kra no we say amasemi say me central and kra me ko central na say me room na so and me want police folk premier obo ba na bebe me want police folk premier so na say obi so ye o kretu na mredi ni afre no am me so na mredi ni me pa me ka say me ko ba say and the way I do manage it, I did woman. You know, I hope you know, woman, because many promo intimate.
Inti sama papa no edituja no. But then all of these things are air costing. One of the things you also have to notice is that O24 there currently no country. But then this idea no idea amount be bri aka. I don't know if it is reality because who's and saying ukukuma so more flag. You see, I know more your own good queen. What you say? So we don't know. Say this separate. They'll separate themselves from the country. We don't know how it will be a reality at the end of the day, and we live to see exactly how that particular idea will definitely manifest. Now, so within Semfo for DVLA or more information about they'll be changing a friend is saying number plates from next year. But then you see some information about it. See, and they are calling on all say from next year. No, you have to come and do re-registration about your new number plate. In some DVLA boss or the two driver back
only the number plates. Currently, we pay 118. That's 118 Ghana cedis. But because now more security features are going to be added to this one, it is highly possible it will go up a little bit, maybe to 130 or maybe to 120. We don't know, but we'll engage and let the public know the exact or specific amount they are supposed to pay, and no one should pay more than that. And don't go and pass through any Guru boy. Come to DVLA. We are opening our services. We are opening more branches. As I speak with you now, in 2 weeks' time, we are adding 3 more branches to it. We are adding Teshinungwa, we are adding Dansoma, we are adding Ejisu, we are doing one in South Dai, we are going to Asenkegwa, we are doing one in Enchi, we are doing one in Jasikain, we are doing one in Dambai, we are having one in Nalugu. We are having, so we are expanding for people to have access to it.
New vehicle licensing regime na edebano. Eba replace the existing one no. Na nema bebre na take into consideration. Say take over no. You say there are so many loopholes in the system. Into those gaps no, and I say the new registration way no eba be kio. So we a bind direction na. So we Minister for Roads and Highways. So what in recently Waka say road tolls will be reintroduced. And see, reintroduce road tolls. But manual one, they said they're not first at here. Would you have just ultra tickets and send away trim no? And so introduce devices are RFID compliant. And to do my immediately have a toll booth designated area and as a toll booth now. You get a message on your phone that walk across the toll booth at this time. This amount has been deducted from your phone and not from your account. It is a DVLA and take a lead no and make a number plates no RFID compliant. You cannot cross any toll booth. And government will lose a lot of revenue. I'm running over cabinet approval, Attorney General. It's being laid before Parliament. It's a Parliament called recess. I feel no member. And it's been laid before Parliament for 21 days. Thereafter, it matures into law. Then we can implement it. So you heard the way I should share your rollout plan now. That time, no because of the American about toll booth system and introduction of new security items on the new plates. No, the whole country will be a better plate from the old one, because the new registration it will take away the year of registration. Into every vehicle on the streets of this country, any motorbike, Okada, tractor, every vehicle be re-registration. But you best starting in phases. In phases now you best starting you better say car for na aba system no our mo use DV plate and register or mokrano. They will be our priority, because I'm on a bebre to say cars network system no as we speak, because as we speak we have almost 4 million cars in the country now that has been registered. Instead of in phases, we will deal with the new cars now register mono. Then starting from April no. So we're starting new cars from 1st January. Then somewhere April, then we start registering the existing vehicles.
So that was in summer DVLA for Mundi Ababetu. Now let's finish off with this. Menu can say the new job in a year MP or the Ababetu just say uncontested. Recall say Akwetia by election I buy no papi ekwejina simpi so eka say ebeya if NDC win elections now, so MPP winning Akwetia or no or be resigning as an MP. Now this was Nekamia say I coming back to hurt him so much because MPP Lucy, there were calls for him to resign. Beneno, there were calls for him to resign, which obe patch or Beneno in some of the other and they say new driving seats no uncontested. As to the reason why uncontested, we don't know exactly why that is happening, but that is exactly what is really going on in regards with the current update. But you don't see you will bring more updates as all of these various events continue to unfold now. Subsequent live so right here on this particular platform.